Hey everyone, it's James back with Beyond Lucid Dreaming. So it's been a while since I've made a video, a few months, and the reason for that is just because I've felt the need to step back from YouTube and social media presence and all that a little bit lately so that I could focus on getting my book closer to release, which has been going really, really well. And I'm really glad I've done that, and I'm going to probably continue doing that even after this video, but I really felt compelled to make this because there's been some goings on in the lucid dreaming community. Usually about once or twice a year, there's some sort of stirring in the topic of lucid dreaming. Something happens. Um, and it's always a little bit of excitement for us lucid dreamers because it doesn't happen very often. Um, so some of that's been going on lately, and I really it's I wanted to comment on it because it's part of a bigger picture idea that I've been really thinking about and struggling with for the past year or so. And going forward in some of the content in my book and some of the content that I've already made that I'll be releasing in the future leading up to my book release, and in some of the content that I plan on making in the future after my book is already out there, it has very much to do with the question of kind of what's going on in the lucid dreaming community, what's going on with the topic of lucid dreaming at large, where's it headed? Because there's a lot of weird, interesting things going on in this space, and it's weird and unique for a lot of reasons that I kind of want to express. I think it might be interesting to talk about in this way as opposed to just putting tweets out about it and seeming kind of like I'm complaining to or at people. But I do have a lot of grievances with what's going on with lucid dreaming as someone who's been following this topic for 10 years now. In the next couple of months, um, it's going to be my 10-year anniversary. It's either November or December. I have to get the journals out to check for sure. But um, yeah, my 10-year lucid dreaming anniversary. So I've been following this topic for a really long time. I'm soon to be a published author on the topic. I've been making content on it for a very, very long time, and I'm going to continue doing so. So I feel like I have a lot to say about this. I know a lot about it, and I just want to talk about it. And I even might make this a series because it's something that I want to track the progress of, because I'm out here in the world talking about lucid dreaming, and the goal is to enact some change there, some positive change in that. So I might make this a series so that I can talk and do some commentary on the lucid dreaming community, niche, topic, subject, whatever you want to use, because I think it's really needed. Um, Something that I think is really missing from the topic of lucid dreaming is authenticity, at least in the mainstream, the really, really, really popular people who talk about it. There's not a lot of that. And even when there is, there's not necessarily a lot of depth. And that's a huge problem. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, what happened recently that made me want to talk about this topic, the buzz that's going on in the lucid dreaming community, is that a newer lucid dreaming channel called Explore Lucid Dreaming, um, who's only been making videos, I think, like maybe this year. It's only been like, it's been really recent, the past few months. I think they only have like 20 videos or something like that. But it's been a very short amount of time, but they've completely skyrocketed to success in the on the YouTube sphere and have completely surpassed every other lucid dreaming YouTuber in views and subscribers to a point that it was suspicious to some of us, and me especially. I was probably more confrontational than I should have been about that. Um, but I've already kind of talked to Explore Lucid Dreaming about that personally in the DMs. But to me, what was suspicious about this is that over the course of like a month or so, you see this channel getting more and more views and subscribers. And there are spikes of views and subscribers at the same time. And Giz Edwards had made a video saying that he didn't think it was botting, because that was the thing that we thought it was, is like possibly botting, because they're sitting right now at 226,000 subscribers for the niche. Before this, the most popular lucid dreaming YouTuber was How to Lucid, and let's check that. And How to Lucid only has 85,000 subscribers. So that was previously thought to be the ceiling, which was raised and it hadn't gone up for a couple of years, when the ceiling was probably about 40,000 or so when Giz Edwards was at the top. Tifero took it to about 60,000 or so. How to Lucid then brought it up to about 85K, where they're at now, about 80K. And then Explore Lucid Dreaming, boom, shot way past that, and in views. And if you look at Explore Lucid Dreaming's Social Blade, like I said, you do see that it building, but drastically and proportionally views to subscribers. But it's just insane that they're getting like these views that are like, they got 25,000 subscribers in a single day. Like, that's insane in general, and for the lucid dreaming niche, unheard of and completely bonkers. And not only that, but on Explore Lucid Dreaming's worst days, is they're consistently pulling in views that are greater than all of like the views combined for, you know, all of the other most popular lucid dreaming YouTubers before that. So it's just weird. There was a disconnect. It's like there's more views and subscribers than there are people interested in the niche, it seemed like, which is what made me think botting. And to me, it didn't really seem convincing, like that subs and views would be increasing in step with each other, because in order for sub botting to work, you would also have to bot views for that to work as a business, which it does work as a business. So yeah, I was naturally skeptical, just because I'm a person who keeps a really close eye on this niche. And if you even use something that's like a good kind of guess of the amount of people who are interested in lucid dreaming, I like to use Reddit, because they have the largest collection of people who have been interested in lucid dreaming talking about it online that I have found. And theirs is, let's see, they have 253,000 subscribers for that subreddit. So that means that pretty much what I thought, my perception was, that means that pretty much everybody interested in lucid dreaming that's like looking for it and talking about it, messing with it online, would have to be subscribed and actively watching this person's videos for that to be plausible to me. So yeah, skeptical, but that has subsided. You know, sometimes the algorithm works for people, sometimes it doesn't. It probably just was like, hey, lucid dreaming exists as a thing now. Explore Lucid Dreaming was doing the right things for the algorithm, and boom. But yeah, so that's kind of the stirrings and the goings on and the drama. But yeah, I found it suspicious, less so now, considering it more and more. But when you're in the moment, you'll kind of think things, when it's more dramatic, you'll think things that might not be the case. However, I mean, I don't know, it just seemed kind of suspicious that so many people, but this kind of brings me around to the overarching thing that I've been thinking about, and it's kind of funny and interesting that I overlooked this in this instance by this kind of emotional reaction, rather than sort of zeroing in on this point that I've been thinking about recurringly about the lucid dreaming niche for a long time now. And to describe that, I've kind of got to get into the weeds of setting the ground of kind of what I already, these thoughts that I have established about the lucid dreaming sphere online. So let me kind of explore and explain what my thoughts are on that, so that I can flesh this out a little bit more. So I think the main thing to focus on in the lucid dreaming community is that there's two things. There's two primary parts of it. There is the lucid dreaming community, which is what I refer to as the people who are interested in lucid dreaming, the people who are talking about it, the lucid dreamers, right? And then there is the lucid dreaming industry, and that's all of the people who are making content for lucid dreamers, the people who are making products for lucid dreamers. That's all of that. Everything that generates revenue in the name of lucid dreaming, the books, websites, blogs, whatever, anyway, the workshops, anything that's drawing in money from lucid dreaming is the lucid dreaming industry. And so those are the two sides to keep in mind when thinking about lucid dreaming as, I guess, a marketplace is what it is. It's like it's a mini economy. So you have this marketplace of lucid dreaming, and it's not really as straightforward as that, because the lucid dreaming industry, it's so it's hard to convey. The nature of lucid dreaming is set up as such that it's so difficult to regularly lucid dream that there are more people interested in learning to lucid dream than there are people who are regular lucid dreamers. So there's a lot of people, the largest portion of people are people who are interested in lucid dreaming. And this is just people, most people have a passing interest in it because of the difficulty level, or they just don't have success. So they'll discover lucid dreaming and then they get interested in it. That's most people when you're talking about the topic of lucid dreaming. And then from there, the people who get interested will, try to figure out how you do it. And at each step, bear in mind that I'm going to list each step along the way, you're losing people for the difficulty factor. So people have an interest in lucid dreaming, then they find out that it's a difficult skill to learn. Boom. Some people drop off there. People then who go on from that point would go, okay, how do I learn? And they'll search for methods. And this is really, at that point, that's the ideal consumer for the lucid dreaming industry, because that's where all the conversation is. This topic is not well developed scientifically. It's not very well developed rationally. It's just not conceptualized in a way that makes sense, in a way that is scientific for the average person. So the hype is centered around teaching people to lucid dream. And then if you get past that part down another step for people who learn to lucid dream successfully, because you'll lose people at that step who it's just like they try to do everything they can. They'll buy every product, they'll try every method, and they don't have success and they'll drop off. And then there are people who go on from that point, enter into another arena of the lucid dreaming niche where if you can do it a little bit, then you become the ideal candidate to be marketed to for another circle of the lucid dreaming industry, which is kind of, it should be what you should be doing next. It's basically, it's where I'm trying to focus with my work is developing this topic on what you do next, what's rational, what we should be talking about, where's this topic going? Why lucid dream? Why do this at all? What's the value? What can it help you with? And how do we know that? What are the actual mechanisms at play when we say that something is possible in a lucid dream, rather than just saying that? That's what I'm worried about, and that's what should be that area, that next circle. But instead of that, I find that there's a faux there's a cardboard cutout of that conversation going on. But when you get up close, you go, oh, you can blow it over and see that there's no there to that conversation. So that inner circle, from that point, the people that move on, you are marketed to for, do this with lucid dreaming. You can use lucid dreaming to heal your body, or for shared dreaming, or for mental emotional healing and these things. So it's this misinformed woo thing that is really prevalent throughout all of the lucid dreaming industry, which is kind of the crux and the problem of it all, is this topic is so underdeveloped, and so little is actually known about it, and there aren't experienced professionals talking about it. It's kind of a thing where there are very few people who are lucid dreamers and scientists, and of those, not very many who are level-headed. A lot of woo from the top down in this topic, and so it trickles down, and it confuses things and makes it a really muddy topic to begin with. And it makes you into this situation where actually the lucid dreaming niche, the lucid dreaming community itself, actually isn't even the lucid dreaming community truly, because it's all people who are really, it's not all, it's a majority of people in that first circle who are like, I've just heard what lucid dreaming is and I am interested. And that's kind of where the whole lucid dreaming industry is focused. That's their target demographic. So they can sell their products and their courses and their books and their videos and everything, supplements, all of it. That's how it works. So once you learn how to lucid dream, there's really nothing with there for you. So the lucid dreaming community ends up being a lot of people changing out, constantly moving, interested, making accounts, losing interest, making accounts, talking for a while, losing interest, dropping out. And it's just constantly new people filtering in, talking about the new how-to beginner topics, and nothing's really getting done. So it has this situation where the lucid dreaming community isn't the lucid dreaming community. The lucid dreaming community is the learning to lucid dream community. Where's the true lucid dreaming community? It would be for the people in the circle who have learned how to lucid dream and need to know what's next. Where do you take it from there? Why is this important? What's the value? Really, truly, rationally lay it out. No hiding behind wordplay and facades or any of this. Show me the mechanisms. That's what that's what we should be talking about, but there's none of it. And that's what I'm trying to develop, because that's there's no getting around it. But there's so many other problems. There's so many other problems to work on in the niche. If you look at it this way, the reason that all of the focus is still on the people who are just becoming interested in the topic is because there's not a one-size-fits-all lucid dream induction technique. There's just not. We don't know exactly what it is that involves lucidity in the brain. We do know some neural correlates. We know that it involves some things in the prefrontal cortex region. BA9, BA10, I think, metacognitive reasoning stuff. But we know some neural correlates. We don't know everything that's going on. We don't know everything that's involved. And we don't know if it's the same for everyone. And furthermore, even if it were the same for everyone, we don't know what we can do in waking life to actually enact those changes to be successful for everyone. So we have these induction techniques that work for a good number of people, and I think that they do work for probably the majority of people, given some finagling, which is the important thing. So you have these induction techniques, which fit under the categories of dialed dream-induced lucid dreams or wild wake-induced lucid dreams. And really the most friendly is this dream-induced. And with that, it's just a lot of techniques for trying to subconsciously implant the idea to make you realize that you're dreaming when you're in a dream. So it's a mental game. It's a brain hack. It's something extra that your brain's not supposed to do, but that you've made it do through some process. And the process can be a little bit different for every person. So there's not one size fits all lucidity induction. Even when you're looking at pharmaceutical induction of lucid dreams, it's not 100%. Like most of the things that I've tried stays in the range of about placebo, about 30 some percent is placebo range for, things. But that's about where it stays at. But you could get it higher than that with induction, but there's so many factors at play. Um, how your specific brain goes throughout its phases of sleep, how long it stays in there specifically is different per person. It's generally it's supposed to be for these time frames, but every single brain and how it sleeps and how it works is different. And then there's things to consider like, do you have any sleep debt, any REM, have you had any substances that are going to affect your dreams and the way you sleep or the production of whatever chemicals are involved in sleep, or remembering, acetylcholinesterase, that sort of thing. So there are things. There's a lot of factors at play. So there is not a one size fits all lucid dreaming induction technique. And if we could solve that problem, if we could create a more one size fits all lucid dream induction technique, whatever that would be, that would solve the problem so that this topic could move on for the masses. And that's why a lot of people, I think, are working on it technologically, because they know it's a lot of money if you work it out. But there's been no success with that. We've seen everything has been kind of not successful, decidedly unsuccessful on the lucid dream induction device technique, or any movement on techniques that are just very reliable for a lot of people. But it's just down. I still think that everyone can do it. It's just a matter of training and understanding what it is you're going for, because at first it's really not clear, and lucid dreaming is very nuanced, and a lot of people don't have a very keen eye for nuance, especially if you're just learning a skill. You're not going to know what to look for, especially a skill that's about paying attention to your mindsets. It's really about mindfulness. So if you're trying to lucid dream and you have no idea about mindfulness at all, you've never meditated, you've not had that kind of crash course, at least, with being mindful and understanding your mindsets or paying attention to things as they arise, then you're not going to have the ability to pay attention to the nuance necessary to lucid dream successfully. Which is what really brings me around to the big thing that upsets me about the lucid dreaming community and how things are going is you see all of these products and you see the pills, you see the induction devices, you see videos, you see books, you see seminars, online workshops, magazines. There's so many things that you can spend your money on for learning to lucid dream. But the things that you don't see a lot of are actually lucid dreaming services. Things that support lucid dreamers in lucid dreaming, not something that tries to strong arm a lucid dream, or something that just tries to rob someone or to profit off of their interest in a topic without teaching them anything of substance about it, which is what a lot of these products do. So I don't see a lot of services about people coaching lucid dreaming more. Like, you see some coaching out there, but it's not really emphasized enough, like how much you really need someone who's done it to talk with you about it and teach you how it's done and what to pay attention to and really know what to ask to analyze and help you. Like, and then even if there is a coach, you have to be skeptical about their coaching ability, because there are so many people who are just profiting off this surface level information or from making things up. Even if even the people with PhDs who are talking about lucid dreaming are not doing so in a way that is scientifically favorable, and that is troublesome. So even at the top, I wouldn't trust their coaching. So you have to be very discriminate for who you would coach, but who you would choose as a coach. But even still, you do need someone to teach you. Like, that's the structure that all of meditation has been based upon, right? Is someone wants to learn mindfulness, meditation, they go to someone who knows how to do it. They go to a teacher, they learn everything they have to teach, they learn the skill, and then they go on, and some of them go forward and teach other people, and they learn, develop their own techniques, and go on and teach others what they've learned and what they've built upon. And it's this tradition of teaching, learning, passing on what you've learned after that, and cycling over again. And that's how the people in the East were able to discover all of these wonderful, interesting things about the mind just from observing it, is through this tradition. But with lucid dreaming, that tradition is really, it doesn't exist. I mean, there's Tibetan Buddhism, the Tibetan yogas of dream and sleep. And that's supposed to be what Charlie Morley's all about. And he's like the only Westerner who was kind of trained in that tradition or whatever. And that's fine. And it is what it is, but it's not widespread. It's not a big sect of Buddhism at all. It's not as developed as a lot of other schools. And, it's just as wrapped up in woo as any other Buddhist tradition that has woo. I know some of them have less than others, some of them really don't, but some of them do, and I think this one does, at least the way it's been presented to me through Charlie Morley and all that. So there's a lot of problems with that. So really what we need to do is establish a tradition in modern day, much like that of the meditation traditions. We need to, us experienced lucid dreamers, need to get out there and teach people how to lucid dream, everything we know about it, so that they can learn more and pass that stuff on. And the problem with that is getting a lot of experienced lucid dreamers to do that. There's not many of us. And then there's funding. That's very difficult. It's not a straightforward skill that is clear to people why they should be interested and what it can do for them. There's not someone who's conceptualized it. And man, I guess I'm kind of trying in that respect personally to do these things. And my friends in the lucid dreaming niche, and I guess I'll drop some names here and kind of talk a little bit about kind of what I'm doing to try to change things in the niche, because I'm complaining about it. I should be held to the standard of, if I'm going to complain about it, I should tell you what the hell I think I'm going to do to make it better as well, because I'm very interested in this. So yeah, I mean, I'm putting out content, I'm writing my books, I'm going to be putting out more content in the future. Like I said, I've got a lot more already made, more coming. But I'm also have been working back with Team Lucid Dream again. If you've been with me long enough to know what that is, you'll probably be excited. But if you don't, Team Lucid Dream was a project I joined a few years ago with a few other great lucid dreamers. And we made over 100 YouTube videos. I think maybe 150 is like, we've got a lot of YouTube videos we made. And I had a hand in writing and editing, being in a good portion of those. And yeah, we're not making videos again, but we're reformed and kind of back together, and we've just decided to make it a leisurely Facebook page at the moment, pending a lot of other things, seeing kind of where it goes, what the response is, and if we want to take it further. But Team Lucid Dream is back, and it is now Reese Jones from Reese Jones 87, popular lucid dreaming YouTuber from way back in the day. Maxwell Hunter, or the Raw Rabbit here on YouTube, also a previous member of Team Lucid Dream from our last iteration, myself, and a new member who has just changed their name, Elliott Riley, is our new member of Team Lucid Dream, and we've all been, and check them out on YouTube as well, but we've all been putting out old content and new content on our Facebook page, making updates, giving lucid dreaming tips, that sort of thing. Reese has been posting on it, Max, Elliott, Riley, myself. We've all been posting lucid dreaming stuff there. And in the future, we plan to be doing more with this. So follow us on Facebook, definitely, to keep up to date with what we're going to be doing, because we'll probably be doing more in the future, but it's not clear if it's going to be YouTube or what it's going to be. But we're going to be doing something to actually make a change in the lucid dreaming community for the better and combat all this kind of stuff that we're talking about, the profiteering and the misinformation and the imbalance and where the information is. So we're going to actually start talking about this and actively trying to build community and go after this. But I don't want to say too much right now. So that's what's going on. That's what we're trying to do in this niche. There's also Daniel Love is an ally in this topic. And he's been changing his name around a little bit, but you just find him online as Daniel Love. You know, we we rebrand from time to time. I'm in the process of doing it myself. I can just change my name, so it happens. But yeah, definitely check out Daniel Love stuff. He's got a book as well, and he's got a YouTube channel. You can definitely find his channel if you go to mine and look at the channels I recommend. But I believe he's the Lucid Dreaming Guide right now. He was the Lucid Guide, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, so we're all trying to really actively attack this now. And Daniel Love especially has been making some videos about this problem. There's a lot going on, and it really feels like every day now. It's not that the new goings on are occurring more frequently in the lucid dreaming niche. Like I said, every year, once or twice a year, something happens, but nothing changes too drastically. But this year I've noticed more than usual an acceleration to the deterioration and degradation of the community, to be quite frank about it. So, like, to give you an example, take this Explore Lucid Dreaming person who recently got popular. Good for them if it was legit. Awesome. But even if it was, to me, it doesn't change my opinion on that channel, because I don't feel like it's something that helps the topic at all, because it's all someone reading the, front page Google search, the most cursory basic information about the topic you could ever skim off a web page, over stock footage, and it was what the algorithms wanted. It's what it looks nice. People are liking it. That's fine, but it's nothing new. It's another channel who's just going to continue making the same basic how-to videos that Tifero's got hundreds of, that How to Lucid has hundreds of. There's nothing new. There's nothing innovative. There's no progression to the conversation. It's all trodden ground. We've all seen it and heard it and been there before, if you're a lucid dreamer, and that's kind of the problem. And then even in the cases where you do see people who are trying to go beyond that and talk about something more substantial or profound with lucid dreaming, it still usually ends up being something like how to get experiences that are just euphoric or fun, or that seem profound but don't really do anything. Or they will actually hype it up and talk about how you can emotionally and mentally heal yourself and your traumas. And these, to me, these are scientifically, these are should I put that? These are claims that when you make them, you should have some data to back that up. These are claims that we could look into and determine whether or not they were true, given we had the resources. But lucid dreaming just does not. So to me, if you're making claims that lucid dreaming can cure you or heal you of a trauma, which I personally do feel that lucid dreaming can be a positive thing for mental health if you use it correctly, but that's much more nuanced a position than the ones that you actually see in the lucid dreaming community now from people even with PhDs, when they say, if you're talking about something beyond how to lucid dream, they will say that lucid dreams have the power to heal you of your emotional traumas. And to me, a lucid dream can be a lot of things. And it's like, imagine having a lucid dream, and then having this profound question, something's been troubling you, right? and you ask this question in your lucid dream and you get an answer, and you feel like, wow, that's so profound. But the problem is, there's no way for you to know whether or not that answer is true, right? Unless it maps onto something in reality, which it could be something that's so abstract or obscure that it doesn't, or it could be something that's an answer that isn't plain speech, right? It's something that is cryptic, and so what you've actually done is, it could be nonsense and you could have just interpreted it or used it as symbology when in reality it meant nothing, right? So there are so many ways that trying to get meaning and profundity out of your dreams, and there are so many problems associated with believing what dreams tell you, that it's not viable to use it for mental health in the ways that are being suggested. And so that's a really big problem. That's a huge problem with lucid dreaming and the future of lucid dreaming. And people aren't talking about that, because I don't think people have realized that, because they're too busy clamoring over, once you get past the point of how to lucid dream, clamoring over these ideas of these, in my opinion, they take these established psychological theories to the point of absurdity. So, can you regress psychologically? Okay, yeah, sure. And in some states of mind, people can regress. And there's documentation for that. In a lucid dream, can you regress? I would say if you can regress, you can regress in a lucid dream, I'm sure. Yeah, like, I don't know if I've had a specific instance of regression in lucid dreams, but I think you can. I've had a lot of interesting experiences cognitively of vastly different mental abilities and deficiencies in dreams that I don't have in waking life. So I would say that could be possible, but is it common? No, I don't think I've ever experienced it, right? Like, it would be a rarer thing, but that's just one example of a psychological thing that could happen in a lucid dream. But I've been lucid dreaming for 10 years now and I've never experienced it, right? So we need to be wary when people say that, yes, you can talk to personifications of, problems or aspects of your own personality in lucid dreams. Like, you need to be careful with saying that, because can you? How do you know that? Where's the documentation? Show me the proof. It's hyperbolic shit. It's just made up until you have something to back that up, right? We have no clear evidence to show that that's even what happens in actual dreams, that there's just like an aspect of our personality that will talk to us. But then there's an interesting thing to take in mind, because, well, what I have just said there will have been actually insulting to probably my friend Max the Raw Rabbit. So I'll talk about that a little bit. And it's not actually something, it's not an attack, because my friend Max the Raw Rabbit, he has psychosis. I think is just that it's not well diagnosed because it's unique, a unique form of it, and what that entails is, and I want you to watch. I keep saying Max, aka the Raw Rabbit, because that's his YouTube channel, and I want you to watch it because I find it to be really important work for psychology and mental health and lucid dreaming. But he hears voices, and in his lucid dreams, he explores those voices and talks to them and interacts with them, and sees them there physically when he can't in waking life. So his brain works differently than everyone else's, and to him, a lucid dream and these voices might very well be real people or real personifications of aspects of his own personality. And I think some of them have revealed themselves to be that, and have said, I revealed this before, if I'm not mistaken, which I could be. But so the thing to keep in mind with that is there's a wide range of cognition and how minds work and an experience. So, and the thing that's interesting is we don't know how different Max's mind is from, the average mind or my own. So it would be really hard to say how much of my experience is in common with Max's and how much of that is comparable as an experience, because Max's experience with lucid dreams and with his mental health might in fact be completely unique to him, and there might be some wiring of the brain that makes it so that these different aspects of his personality are arranged as such, right? And so it makes sense that if his mind is arranged in that way, then his dreams would react in a more stable or a more different way, or that might be more the case with him than with other people. So whereas it could be something that like virtually never happens with anyone else, it could be a very unique thing, and that's something that we need to keep in mind, because that's a dramatic case, the difference between Max's beautifully brilliant and unique, wonderful mind that I just want to lick and kiss a little bit, and everyone else's. But there's also just as big a gap in certain specific different areas, I would say, between each and every normal individual. There's so many differences, and perhaps I'm kind of rambling now, so let's kind of get back on track and try to sum this up a little bit. So yeah, all this to say that there's nuance and layers to this conversation, and a lot to talk about, and a lot of catching up to do in this conversation that's just not being done. And yeah, I think I'm gonna make this a series, because I want to talk about this more as things arise, because every time something happens, I want to comment on it. And I want to have a specific dedicated place to do that, because it's important that we take a look around the niche that we're interested in, right? There's news for everything else for a reason, right? We want to know what's going on. But lucid dreaming's not big enough for there to be too much lucid dreaming news. So here we go. I will be that and do that for you guys. But yeah, let's make a positive change here, guys. Let's do our best. And I think that really starts with the people who already know how to lucid dream, beginning to help people who are trying to learn understand this topic a little bit better and a little more honestly than ever before. But even amongst all of us who are already lucid dreaming, it's going to take a lot of work to get us all to a point where we can talk about this topic in a more experienced way, which is the conversation I'm trying to have. And I don't know that I'm 100% the person to do the work to get people through all of the stuff they need to do to get to the point of the conversation where I want to be. I'm probably just going to keep talking about the stuff that I'm experienced in and that I'm interested in, and let people teach people how to lucid dream, because the information is out there, even though it's oversaturated and there is misinformation, hyperbole and stuff. It's just a matter of finding the people who are the good people to learn from, and learning how to discern that. So I want to kind of help with those skills where I can. But beyond that, I think it's time that we just break this topic apart, and everything that I'm going to be focusing on doing with this topic in the future is going to be for that specific purpose. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I know this is a little bit longer, but I do plan on making a podcast in the future, so this is perhaps a little bit of a preview of what to expect coming from me in the future. But I do hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, let me know, engage with this if you enjoyed it, if you agreed, if you disagreed, if you have something to say, because this is a conversation. If ever anything that I've done on this channel is a conversation, is meant to be a back and forth, it's this. So comment on this video, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. I want to start driving this channel forward back, into the future, and really doing this wholeheartedly once I get back up with my book completed, which is getting quite close now. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take it easy, and until next time, lucid dream more.